With permanent ceasefire negotiations falling apart in Saudi Arabia after a month and a half of fighting, a new diplomatic battle is looming over the future of the UN's top official in Sudan. This was the sullen-faced Secretary General after briefing the Council at his request, only the fifth time he's done so during his tenure.
In relation to the situation in Sudan, there are areas of responsibility of the Security Council and areas of responsibility of the Secretary General. In my area of responsibility, I reaffirm to the Council my full confidence in Volker Perthes as Special Representative of the Secretary General. It's up for the Security Council to decide whether the Security Council supports the continuation of the mission for another period, or whether the Security Council decides that it's time to end it.
Guterres earlier expressed shock at the litany of accusations against Perthes contained in the al-Burhan letter, who accused the special representative, who's essentially been the UN face as the crisis unfolded in Sudan, of provoking political crises and adopting extremist positions that undermined reconciliation and peace building, and which ultimately led to the eruption in mid-April. He accused Perthes of imposing a framework agreement in transition negotiations ahead of the conflict, which al-Burhan says led to the rebellion and military confrontations by the Rapid Support Forces. Diplomats confirmed that Guterres requested the Council to back Perthes in his role, here briefing the body last week.
Both parties have been calling on me to condemn the respective other side's actions. I call on both to end the fighting and to return to dialogue in the interest of Sudan and its people. The responsibility for the fighting rests with those who are waging it daily. The leadership of the two sides, who have chosen to settle their unresolved conflict on the battlefield rather than at the table. It's their decision that is ravaging Sudan, and they can end it.
UNITAMS' mandate is up for renewal by a Saturday deadline, with a technical rollover expected to be voted on before then.
Do you think it's time to change the mandate?
Do you? Do you think it's time to change the mandate?
Perhaps we have first to stabilize and then to think about how we can change the mandate or whatever, and how the UN presence in the country can be effective. But we're not there.
Yeah, do you support Volker Perthes? Do you support the SRSG?
We support UNITAMS.
More than 700 people have died and over 5,500 injured, with hundreds of thousands displaced as US-led ceasefire negotiations falter.
We have to keep the pressure on. We have to intensify the pressure on them and make sure that they understand there will be accountability for their actions. People are dying. People are afraid. We've seen thousands, tens of thousands of Sudanese vote with their feet because these two generals are fighting for power. We have to bring the civilians in, the civilians who have been key to bringing about change, to see this situation move forward in the interest of all people in Sudan.
And while diplomatic spats and military clashes continue, the future of Sudan looks increasingly bleak. Sherman Riceby's SABC News, New York.